What happened, man? What happened to the innocence of our young children? The youth of the black community? Now, if you're not black, this may apply to you too. But today I'm going to talk to my black brothers primarily and ask this question. What happened to the youth? What happened to the innocence? See, I've been looking around as a young man myself, and I realize a lot of the elderly are not doing their jobs. A lot of the elderly has quit. Now we know we have a problem with the parenting. We know we have the absence of the father. But we must ask ourselves, where have the morals of the black youth? Where has it gone? Where did it go? It's on a permanent vacation. Today I'm going to talk about not just the style in which we let our children dress and how we bring them up, but the morals, the way they conduct themselves, the way they speak in public. But I know we are visual creatures as men. So I'm going to have a few slides up today, talking especially on dress code. What happened? And at the end of this video, I will tell you why I decided to make this video. I'll let you know what I just saw and how sad it is. Let's start with this slide. Many of us are so brainwashed nowadays that we see absolutely nothing wrong. Let's start with the positive. What I could appreciate from this slide is that she is completely covered in the front side of her clothing. That's good. But in my conservative opinion, her clothing is too tight. Her back is showing too much. You guys have to understand, if there is an area of the human body, and let's take the female for an example. Let's say if someone rubbed that area too soft and for too long, it could be considered sexual advances. Then that area should be an area to be covered. I know a lot of people don't see what I'm saying because we are brainwashed. We think it's okay for our young women at an early age to take poses like that middle picture you're looking at. What is she practicing for? Why is she showing her rear end? Who did she learn that from? Now the feet is cut off. So that horse stance, that little perry-toe stance that they like to do, you didn't see that. But she's also taking that stance too. That is the stance of the ratchet women. That is the stance of whoredom as we know it today in 2018 and beyond. My issue is, what is she mimicking? Such a young child. See, my mind is very calm. Most of the time I'm very silent. I stay in solitude. I stay to myself. But I'm always watching what's going on around me, and I'm taking notes. I remember there was a time where young black girls had various natural hairstyles that did not involve perm. Natural hairstyles that did not always involve pulling their hair backwards, causing their hairline to recede. The hairstyle that's on top of this girl's head is a grown woman's hairstyle. It's also bad for her hairline. But most people don't see it that way. The makeup she's wearing is too much on her face. Why is she pouting her lips in such a way? See, we have become so accustomed to the style of whoredom, where we think it's okay to indoctrinate our children in it. And we think it's okay to marry women who imitate it. And no, this is not a self-hating video. This is not a video bashing my own. as I know a lot of you guys have that issue. That's why I said in the end of last year, this channel will be a bit rougher with the truth. It will be a bit colder with the truth. You need to be in your masculinity. You need to put on your big boy's pants. You can't be offended and in your feelings about every little thing. We must talk about the truth. We must talk about the dirty. We must bring it to light. And we must correct it in our household, one by one. We must bring shame again to those who do things that are out of line. And you know this is not the most mildest picture I could have found, but I don't want to be in any trouble legally, so I have to watch the content which I post, not because of YouTube, but because of the law. Some pictures of these young children are obscene. They should not be protected under the freedom of expression. These are kids. The way a kid conduct themselves, the way they show their bodies, the makeup on their face, the way they pout their lips, certain poses that they take, certain tightness of their clothing, certain parts of their body that is showing. Unacceptable, disgusting. But while we talk about her hair and what could go wrong with that hairstyle, let's move on. Yes, you know it. Don't complain when she ends up like this. This is a result of not knowing how to take care of the hair. 1, harsh chemicals. 2, one hairstyle. Everything end up being pulled back. Most black women's scalps do not see the sun. What happened to some hair grease, some water, a comb, and some braiding? What happened to some basic loose braids that are not too tight, that are not too harsh on the scalp, and the pores which the hair follicles come out of? Why do our daughters must look like John Amos from Good Times? If you're not old enough, Eddie Murphy, Coming to America. Why? You see these black females in Walmart, hairline receding way back at the cash register, walking around everywhere around the city, hairline further back than a middle-aged man. Come on, man. We lost our style. We lost class in how we dressed. We put too much makeup on the kids. It's ridiculous. And like I said I'm gonna tell you guys why I decided to make this video towards the end of this video. So I'm gonna try to get through it quickly. This young girl is 13 years old. Now, I like the fact that her clothing is covering her body. That's good. The issue here is mainly the makeup. Now, they make her look like she's older than she is. They try to give her some class. That's good. The weave, not a fan. The makeup, too much. She's looking older than she is. And what we don't understand is that powder, even if it is natural and organic, widen the pores in the human skin. So as these women put these powders on their faces, they wonder by the time when they hit 35 that their pores are a lot wider, that their skin begin to wrinkle that early. That these perms are causing their hair to gray up a lot faster. Now, maybe they're trying to make her a model, but she's 13. The makeup is way too much in my opinion. Way too much. And a lot of brothers may not see it the way I see it, but I believe in raising children to be children. Young women to be young women. I believe in class. I believe in keeping the human body free of any harsh chemicals that does not need to be on it. When I was growing up, women in my family did not believe in makeup until you got your first wrinkle. There's no reason for makeup if you're a young woman. But half of these chicks got more face paint than the Joker. Eyebrows look like a kindergartner drawing a hawk in the sky. These M's arch. Everybody looks the same because they're wearing the same kind of makeup, the same eyebrows, the same eyeliners, the same eyeshadows, the same eyelashes. And you brothers are falling for it because you think it's beautiful. Until she sweated out on your pillow. Until she jumped in the showers with you. These young girls are too young to be wearing these makeups. The showing of stomachs. Why? The booty shorts where these little children ass cheeks are hanging out. Why? I'm a grown man. I don't need to see nobody's 8-year-old, nobody's 10-year-old's booty cheeks. I'm not trying to see no 13-year-old's booty cheeks. I don't want to see no 15-year-old's belly button. Why are we showing these particular areas of our kids? Why so much thighs? These are children. And I know some people are not used to what I'm saying. It's like, man, you just going too far. I don't know if I see it that way. Wait till you have your daughter. And then you ask yourself, what is she exhibiting for? What are you putting on display and why? You guys are the first one to say when a woman dressed like a thought, when a woman dressed like a hoe, that's probably what she is. So why in the heck are we dressing our young daughters like whores? Why are we putting harsh chemicals on their skin? Oh, it's organic makeup. Why? It doesn't matter. The grain in that powder will widen her pores. If it ain't part of her body's natural oil, it probably will strip it or add too much of it. Why the harsh chemicals in her hair that will make her gray faster? Chemicals that has been connected to fibroids and ovarian cysts, messing with her childbearing capabilities. Why? Why are they wearing short shirts so short that their belly buttons are showing? Why? Who's trying to see that? And we see it in even the grown black women. The morals are gone. Knowing how to dress, what to wear, what's appropriate for wear, we have no clue. Lingeries are now in the public's eye. Something that was supposed to be shared between a woman and her husband. Everybody can see it. And don't get me wrong, I'm a straight man. So when I see a woman who's 28 years old, she's looking good, and I see some skin, yeah, it looks good to my sex drive. But my morals must dominate my animal instincts. So I know it's wrong. So it should naturally bring to me disgust. We need to get our acts together as men too. We need to start calling out the BS, even when it turns us on because the woman is 28, 29, or 30 years old. She still should be covered up. School teacher. This reminds me of my school teacher when I was growing up. I was 14, taking math class. No, man, you can't wear that. It's too tight. The length is okay, but it's too tight. So when my school teacher used to sit down, that skirt popped up a little bit. I seen her panties. I paid no attention to math. I was sitting there, 14 years old, hormones pumping. Man, I had a hard on the whole class. School teachers. Our women don't know how to dress. Yes, church. This woman here was going to church. I'm sure the pastor don't mind. Most of them are peps and players anyway. But bruh, how many times you have sat in a church, for those of you who go to church or those of you who used to go to church, and you seen a woman walk in, you know that's somebody's wife. You know he probably wanted to tell his wife you can't wear that, but he's too scared. You trying not to look at no brother's wife the wrong way. You trying to be respectful. but she's so naked. The clothes are so tight on her, you can basically know what she looks like without clothes on. And we think that's okay. The church won't say nothing. Have they ever read the book of Timothy? Have they ever read the scriptures about a woman dressing modestly? But it's church, right? Oh, they don't see that. So every time she dances, and you just sitting there watching her rear end. We have an obesity problem also. And this right here, I'm going to put on the parenting of the homes. The obesity, this girl is 18 years old. Now the headlines to the story was she got ridiculed and cyberbullied by her friends because of her weight and ugly prom dress. But you see why I sympathize with the young girl being bullied. It is the parents. You can't just sit here and say it is a child. I don't want to deny my child from eating what she likes. I don't want to make her unhappy. She has her whole life ahead of her. No, she doesn't. Not if she looks like this. You're still feeding her pork, a deadly flesh to eat. Neck bones, ham hocks, pork chops, pig feet, pigtail. Come on, man. You don't encourage her to exercise. You don't. I mean, you could allow her to get a tattoo at 16, at 15, but you won't force her to work out. You won't get her a gym membership. You won't get her a trainer. You won't follow up with what she's doing. You won't go work out with her. You're gonna let your daughter die. Where have the morals and the parenting of the black community gone? And I know there's some other races of people who do similar things, but it is a pandemic in our group. It is widespread. And the worst part is, it is accepted. We don't see anything wrong with this. Instead, we see something wrong with what I'm saying right here. You don't want to change your young girl's diet? What you think she's going to look like when her metabolism do slow down? When her metabolism does slow down, what you think she's going to look like then? What you think she's going to look like when she gets pregnant and has a child and put on baby fat? Because you know one of these thirsty brothers going to run up in there raw. Not knowing what to wear based on how we look like and how we shape. Big girl, too tight, too big. I mean, if she has an extra piece of chicken wings, that's gonna rip. If she slips and falls, she'll be naked. And like I said before, it doesn't matter if it's a good looking woman. Nobody should be having automatic x-ray vision on how you look under your clothes because your clothes are so tight. You look like a shrink wrap bag in the airport. Come on, man. Where has the morals? Where has the morals of the youth gone? What have the parents been teaching all these years? And I understand, black men, most of us are not in the households. And it's not our fault. We're not allowed. The government enjoys seeing the breakdown of the black family. Oh yeah. And they know how to get to doing that. It's easy. Just go through the black woman and she will help them. She will give them the keys. They know that. Yes sir, yes sir. This ish right here got to go. This ish got to go. Yes. If you are a subscriber of mine and you do this, I humbly advise you pull your pants up, brother. And if you're mad at me, you want to unsubscribe, that's good too. Because I hustle for my paper. YouTube is not the source of my money. That's the place where I get on and teach what needs to be, and say what needs to be said, and teach what needs to be taught. This is gay. And it's stupid. It's not just gay, it's gay and stupid. Why are you showing your butt? How is this some kind of gangster? So you mean to tell me you gangsters are rough? You hanging out with your boys. You're the toughest dudes on the block. And you look at each other's booties all day long? And the worst part is these brothers be around the block with the same drawers all week, riding around on that bike. Come on, man. Now, that sign there was a few cities that were trying to pass laws so men would pull their pants up. The issue is, I think this is covered under the freedom of speech and expression. Unfortunately, it should fall under obscenity, things that are obscene and that are not protected under the First Amendment to the Constitution, the freedom of speech. But they're letting it slide. Of course, if it is the destruction of the black family, of the black man, of the black woman, it is allowed. Now, I'm not going to just blame the government here, because the first blame starts with the parenting. Where the hell has the morals gone where a man thinks it's okay to walk around like this? I've sat in restaurants where I'm eating and I've seen grown men with their wives and 3 kids walk in wobbling like a duck, like a penguin, because their pants is so low and so far below their waistline and their buttocks. It gotta go. With that came skinny jeans. And with the skinny jeans came the audacity for brothers to try to sag a skinny jean. What is going on? I mean, when men used to design women's clothing in men's clothing, we had some class. The minute that women and gay men got into the designer industry, got into the fashion designer industry, this is what happened. Is this the witchcraft of Hollywood? Is this what the country is pushing? This is when I really push my Ibmor side. This is when we need to be introspective black men of reform. Something is wrong here. This what the hell happens when you sag skinny jeans. Because now it even pulls down your boxers. And as a man, I gotta look at your butt cheeks. And then on top of that, brothers wanna wear small shirts now, which is cool, but if you sagging, it ain't cool. You got men wearing flat Levi's, a V-neck, they butt showing, and a gold mohawk, calling themselves straight with some skinny jeans. Give me a break, man. Prom. Prom has become a problem. There's something really wrong with that dress here. I know, little skirt. I know, you're not used to seeing people talk about it like this. You're like, what's wrong with this? It's too short. What happened to women's self-respect, man? This is a young girl. It's too short. You don't think it's a problem? Well, let me ask you this. Where is she going? Prom? Okay. How is she gonna dance when she get to prom? Oh, yeah, okay. When she bend over, that dress you just saw, what's gonna happen to it? You know darn well how they dance. And nowadays, twerking and booty shaking is a serious issue, because these girls, they can twerk. They can actually twerk. They could do that. They can't cook, and they can't even find their virginity. They can't remember the last time they had it. They seem to think they were born without it. We need to get back to teaching our kids and talking to our daughters, talking to our sons. And honestly, we may have a war against the black woman, because she's becoming the gateway to allow the government to keep us out of our children's lives. Yeah, I know, man. You see the picture in front of you. Somebody let their daughter leave the house like that. Worse, purchase that. I don't care if you're making your own money. Not under my roof. Not at the age of 18, which she was when the picture was taken. And where you going like this? Ooh, man. Where have the parenting gone? Where have the morals gone? Now, if you look closely, I'm sure a nipple's about to pop out on the left side of the screen. There's a little extra brown showing there. Yeah, she 18. Now tell me, which one of you brothers looked at her and thought, man, I should marry this nice quality wife material woman? If you even thought about her in a way that is romantic or sexual, it involved just sex, and that's it. And I'm trying to keep it clean. When are we gonna make it where people can look at our daughters again and say, nice, classy young woman? See, when I started off with the first slide with the little girl, the second slide, and I started talking about the way she was posing, you may have not seen a big issue with that. But when she turned 18 now, as you look at this picture here, we're starting to see what we bred her for, what we bred her to become. How, my brothers, how can someone have your 18-year-old not only with a piercing by her mouth, a piercing in her belly button, which tells me she didn't just get that piercing, so I know she's been wearing clothing where her stomach has been showing for a while now. Now she is highly developed. She is 18, which she is a woman. I mean, most women are biologically complete women by the age of 15, 16. Legally, no. Biologically, yes. And no, they don't mature any much more in the way they think. I know you guys see a woman who's 40 talking about her mistakes and how she changed. She hasn't changed. She's the same. A lot of you guys did not understand my video, do women mature faster than men? Yes, they do, in their element. Women reach their mental maximum capacities by the time they're 16. Don't believe me? Date a 40-year-old woman. Wait a few months and watch her be a complete child, immature brat that plays with things she have no business playing with, like your child visitation rights. Exactly. Think about that. No difference. When I was 18, I was tired of immature women. So I dated a woman that was 38 years old, 20 years older than me when I was 18. She was fine, she was beautiful, and I found out she was only mature as a facade because she was 38. Once I got to know her, man, it's the same game all over again. But anyway, as I conclude this video, let me talk about why I decided to make this video. I walked into a Walmart. It's like a supermarket for those of you guys who do not know. And as I went shopping, I seen a young woman. On the back of her jacket, it said, F-boy free. F-boys free. Now, if you look up the term, it means a woman who no longer deal with many men who are all about sex. Now, she's about the age of 22, 23. If anything, I would say from the range of 18 to 23. And it's sad because she didn't feel any type of embarrassment to put such profanity on the back of her clothes because she put it on her jacket with a whiteout. Okay? And she felt very comfortable walking around with it. Now I know, as men become more feminine, they call each other that also, which I don't know why, but for women, it means something completely different. Now, if our society had morals, by the time she left her home, someone should have said something to her. By the time she left her community, her block, someone should have said something to her. She should have been ashamed to come across her pastor, her imam, if she's Muslim, the rabbi or the elder, if she's Hebrew Israelite. I mean, somebody should have been able to say something to her, even if she was a 50-year-old woman. See, every community has classes. There's some things you find in the Jewish community. There are certain things that you find and that are expected in the Cuban community, you find certain things that are Italian, and you cannot behave any other way if you are an Italian. But why is it in the African American community, the only thing we ridicule people for is that when they don't act ratchet or ghetto or speak in slang all the time, we ridicule them for not being black enough? Because apparently for some odd reason, our definition of blackness is hood. Our definition of blackness is speaking English only in slang. Now, I'm a brother who can speak English without any type of ebonics, any type of slang, any type of black accent. I could speak corporate America's English. I'm a college graduate brother. But when I do, I'm always told, you sound like a white boy. We shame people for things that are not important, so that they may do things that are stupid. But we don't shame them so they do things that are right. Nobody asked this young woman, baby girl, if you've never been married, how do you know about sex and how do you know about multiple F-boys? And why are you so proud to display it? Get some self-respect for yourself. And if she dare get an attitude, everybody else should have gotten on her and jump in. And I guarantee you she would have never put that jacket on again and go out. But that's not what we do. That's not what we teach. We don't care. We are deteriorating, my people. We're falling apart. Don't get offended by what I'm saying. Put your big boy pants on. That's why I speak to the men. I'm not putting down my own. I'm trying to raise up my own so that they may be better. Because what we're doing right now, we can't really find much positivity in it. I know you guys like to bring up positivity, but you can't go to a town that just got hit by a tsunami and praise the fact that one building is standing. Meanwhile, everyone else and everything else got wiped out. The pros that we have, they're not enough. Let's get greedy for morals. Let's get greedy for growth and betterment of our people. And let's ask ourselves, where have the morals of the youth gone? And let's teach the youth to have morals, class, and godliness. Those three things can never be outdated. This your boy, Mr. Limbo. Peace.